We continue now at the top of Daf Tube Beis in Meseches Pesachim. This is Pesachim Daf 9b. The Gemara is continuing a brisa statement from Rabbi Yehuda. The case is there was a nefel that was thrown into a bore, a stillborn was thrown into a pit. Uva Kohen, and a Kohen came, v'heitzitz bo, and he looked into the pit, leida im zacharu im nekevi, to see whether the stillborn was male or female. Uva ma'isa lefnei chacham, and the ma'isa came before the chachamim, v'tiaru, and they said he's tar, mivnei shechuldu vardalis mitzuyin sham, because there was weasels and bardalis that were matzui there, so we assume the animals dragged it away. Rashi over here explains. Uva Kohen v'heitzitz al svas habor, Kohen came and he looked and he was at the edge of the pit. Leidayim zachem nekeva, to see whether it was male or female. The Kohen karov mibnei habayis haya. The Kohen was a relative, or he was from the household. V'shalchu sham lahagid li'imo mativo. They sent him over there to tell the mother what was the status of this nefil. V'tavchin bein tumas v'taras zachor li mei tumas v'taras nekeva. That way she could know whether she had to have the tumah and the days of tumah and tara for a male, or the days of tumah and tara for a female, which is a different amount of days. The Kohen did not remember the prohibition of a Kohen to become tamei. He looked into the bore. Didn't see the nefel. In any case, they said that he was tar. Why? Because there were these animals that were common by that pit. The schulda, the bardalis, probably took the nefel to their chor, to their hole, and there was no problem of the Kohen being mahel on this nefel. So now the Gemara asks, but over here, devadai hitila, certainly she threw this nefel into the pit, v'safik giraru, v'safik lo giraru, and we have a doubt whether the animal took it or not, hahishait at that time, v'kasi safik umotzmi devadai, and the doubt is taking away the problem created by the certainty. You see that a suffix is motzimi devadai. So the Gemara answers, lo tema sheitila nefel labor. Don't say in the brisa that she for sure threw the nefel into the pit. Ela ema sheipila kimin nefel labor. She threw what seemed to be a nefel into the pit. V'have suffix usuffix. Therefore, it's a double suffix. We don't know whether it was a nefel, and even if it was a nefel, possibly was dragged away by the animal. So the Gemara says, "V'haleida im zachrum nekevi." How could you say katani? But how could you say that we don't even know if it was a nefel? It says in the brisa that he went to see if it was male or female. That certainly implies that it was a nefel. So the Gemara says, "Hachi kamar." Here's really what the brisa should say: Leida im ruach hipila im nafal hipila. First, you wanted to check: is this really even a stillborn, or is it just nothing that she miscarried? It's not even the status of a nefel. And if you're going to say that it is a nefel, leidaim zacharu vim nekeva. He wanted to see, is it male or is it female? If you want, I could say another answer for this brisa. Hasam vadayu vadayu. In that case, it is a certainty and another certainty, meaning kevan dechuldu bardalis mitzuyin sham. Since there are chuld and bardalis in this pit, vaday geru bahishaita. Certainly, it was dragged away. Nihi deshiyure mishaira migrar mias vaday garim bahishaita. Granted, some of it may have been left over, but certainly was dragged away at that time. And Rashi over here explains, Vaday giraru muchzakanin v'kach. We have a presumption that the animal dragged away the nefel. V'lodami l'maslisin dekatani ha'chazina chayshina. It's not similar to the Mishnah where we made a diuk that if we saw the animal bringing chametz, then we have a concern. Tenihi devadai achla lo amar. Because it's true, we don't say for certain that the animal ate in the case of our Mishnah, the chametz, avol giraru lachur shelahen amar, but certainly the animal drags in this case the nefel to their hole, to their cave. So that we say for certain, and therefore the Kohen is for sure tahor, and that's what the Gemara means when they say nehi deshira meshaira. Granted, it's possible the animal will leave over some of the food, might not eat it all, but migrar mias vadai garim beishaita. Certainly, the animal drags it away, and therefore it's a vadai and a vadai, and it doesn't show that a suffix is motzi midei vadai. And now the Gemara asks a more fundamental question on our Mishnah. Mi amrinon ein choshen shemegera chulda. Do we really say that there's no concern that maybe a weasel dragged the chametz and therefore we have to recheck? Is that really true? V'katani seifa, but it says at the end, Masha Mishayer Yanichenu B'tzina. It says that when a person searches and destroys his chametz, whatever chametz is left over, you have to put it in a safe place, Shelo Yetzarech B'dika Achrav, so that you don't need to do another B'dika. Maybe that chametz is going to get lost somewhere, and then you're going to have to search for that chametz that was left over. So apparently in that case, why are you putting it in a safe, concealed place? So a chulda doesn't get it. So apparently we are concerned that an animal might drag it somewhere else. So the Gemara answers, Amar Abaya. Abaya says, Lo kash, it's not difficult. Ha bi'arba asar, ha b'shlosha asar. In one case, we're talking on the 14th of Nisan. In the other case, we're talking about on the 13th of Nisan. B'shlosha asar, on the 13th of Nisan, the shchiach rifta b'chulu ba'ati, where there's bread in all of the houses, lo mitzna. So in that case, the chulda is not going to take the bread and take it to wherever it hides its food, because there's bread everywhere, so you don't have a concern. That's our Mishnah, where it says ein choshin. Bi'arba, but on the 14th, the lo shchicha rifta b'chulu ba'ati, where there's not bread everywhere, mitzna, so then already the chulda, then there is a concern that the chulda is going to take the bread, and that's why it says whatever is left over, you have to put in a concealed place. So Amar Rava says back to Abaya, v'chi chulda neviyahi, is a chulda like a prophet? The weasel knows what day it is. The yada da hidden ar beisar v'lo afi ad leursa u'meshayru metamra. The chulda knows that today is the 14th of Nisan, and there's not going to be anything baked until the evening, and therefore the chulda is going to go and take the food and put it somewhere. Elam Rava, rather Rava explains as follows: Masha meshayr yanichenu betzina. Whatever is left over, you put it in a concealed place. Shemo titol chulda bifanenu, because there's a concern. Maybe the chulda is going to do right in front of us. Maybe we're going to see the chulda grab the bread and drag it somewhere. And then you're going to need to do bedika. But in general, Rava would say, just like the beginning of our Mishnah, you don't have to have a concern that a chulda took chametz and dragged it somewhere. But as we said, if you saw the chulda actually do it, it would be a problem, and therefore you should put it in a concealed place so that does not happen. Tanya kevase de Rava, we have a brisa like Rava. Harotza lechol chametz achar bedika. Let's say somebody wants to eat chametz after he does his bedika. Ketzad yaseh, what should he do? Masha meshayer yanichenu betzina. Whatever he's leaving over, he needs to put it in a concealed place, as we said. Shalotavo chulda v'titol b'fanenu. That way a chulda won't come in front of us and take the chametz v'yitzarech bedika achar, and then you're going to have to do bedika after that chametz. Rav Mori Amar, now Rav Mori says another answer. Gezeira shema yaniach eser v'yimtza teisha. When it says in the end of the Mishnah that you should put it in a concealed place, that's really just a decree. You might have 10 pieces left over, and then you're only going to find 9. Rashi over here says, in such a situation, there really is a concern. Maybe a chulda dragged the last piece. You know for sure one of them was taken. So again, Rav Mori's answer is somewhat similar to Rava's answer, that the reason why you're putting it in a safe, concealed place is because, just like Rava said, we're afraid that we're going to actually see a chulda take a piece of chametz, so we want to prevent that circumstance. Rav Mori is saying we're afraid that you might have a situation where you know something was taken because you know you put 10 pieces and now you only have 9 pieces. The Gemara continues at the 2 dots, Teisha tziborin shal matzah v'yechad shal chametz. If you have 9 piles of matzah and 1 of chametz, v'yasa achbar v'shakal, a mouse comes and takes, v'lo yadin ani matzah shakal I chametz shakal. You don't know whether he took the matzah or whether he took the chametz. Hainu teisha chanuyos. That is the same as the case of teisha chanuyos. Rashi over here says, Teisha tziborin piskei halachas, and these are piskei halachas. V'yasa achbar v'shakal, a mouse comes and takes. V'nichnas l'bayis b'fonenu, comes in front of us in the house. V'lo yadinani chametz shakal, we don't know if he took chametz or not. V'kevan d'chazina tzrichan anu livdok. Since we saw the mouse come and take, we have to do bedika. O dilma matzah shakal, or we don't know, maybe he took matzah, you don't have to do bedika. So the Gemara said to that, Hainu teisha chanuyos. That's the same as the case of the 9 stores. The kaimel and bula kameh, we're going to say later on, the chol kavu, anytime you have set fixed items, like in this case, you have in front of you 10 fixed piles, so shenat lo mimakom kavu, and then something was taken from that fixed area, ein holchin bo acher harov. You don't follow majority in such a situation. El areu kamechza al mechza. We treat it like a 50-50. V'safik isur l'chumra, and you have to be machmir. So in this case, you might have thought, since you have 9 of matzah and 1 of chametz, so it's majority matzah, it shouldn't be a problem. But since it's fixed, since it's in an established place, therefore we do have to be concerned because it's like 50-50, and we have to be machmir. Piresh v'yasa achbar v'shakal. Now, if one of them left the fixed place and a mouse came and took it, and Rashi says, Piresh prusa me'achas min atziborin, a slice left one of the piles, le'echem min hazavius, and ended up in a corner somewhere. V'lo yadana mehai minayo piresh, we don't know where it's separated from. V'yasa achbar v'shakle v'nichnas l'bayis, and then the mouse came and took it and brought it into the house. So in that case already, it's no longer in a fixed place. Hainu sefer, that's the end of the very same Mishnah. The Tanan, as we learned in a Mishnah. Teisha chanuyos, let's say you have 9 stores, kulan mochrin basar shchuta, all of them are selling kosher meat that was shechted, that was slaughtered properly. V'achas mocheres basar nevela, but one of them is selling meat from nevela that is not kosher. V'lokach me'achas mehen, and the guy buys from one of the stores. V'eino yodea me'ezeh mehen lokach. He doesn't know which store he brought from. So Sveiko Aser, in that case, it's going to be Aser, as we said, because we treat it like a 50-50. Since the stores are in fixed locations, it is an even suffix, it is a 50-50 suffix, and you have to be machmir. However, uvenimsa, if you find a piece of meat, so that means the meat separated from its fixed location, now you're finding this meat in the streets, halach acher harov, then you could follow majority. Similarly, in the case of the 9 piles of matzah and the 1 of chametz, if it was piresh, you can follow majority. Shnei tziborin, and now the Gemara continues with piskei halachas. Let's say you have 2 piles. Echad shel matzah v'echad shel chametz. One is matzah and one is chametz. V'lifneim shnei batim, and in front of the 2 piles you have 2 houses. Echad baduk v'echad sheino baduk. One of the houses already had a bedika, one did not have a bedika. V'yasu shnei achbarim, now 2 mice come. Echad shakal matzah v'echad shakal chametz. One of them takes matzah, one of them takes chametz. V'lo yadinon you just don't know which mouse took it into which house. So you don't know if the chametz went into the house that was already checked, or did the chametz go into the house that wasn't yet checked, so it's no problem. You're going to do a bedika anyway. So to that, the Gemara says, Hainu shtei kupos. That case is exactly the same as the case of the 2 boxes. Rashi over here says, Shtei kupos, davar zeh, ani yichol lamdo mi mishnah shtei kupos. You can learn out what the halacha is from the case of the 2 boxes. The talina lakula. In that case, we go lenient. We say that you do not need to be strict in that situation. Ditnan, because we learned in the Mishnah. Shtei kupos, you have 2 boxes. Achas shel chulin v'achas shel truma. One is filled with chulin and one has truma. V'lifneyen shnei sa'in. And in front of those, you have 2 saw. Echad shel chulin v'echad shel truma. One is a saw of chulin, one is a saw of truma. V'naflu elu l'soch elu. And then they fall inside, so now you don't know, did the chulin fall in the chulin and the truma in the truma, so everything's fine? Or do we have a situation where it's really mixed up now? You've got truma falling into a pile of chulin, so mutarin. The Mishnah says, again, you're lenient, you say it's mutar, shani omer, because I can say chulin l'soch chulin naflu, the chulin fell into the chulin, or truma l'soch truma naflu, the truma fell into the truma. So the Gemara assumes the same thing should be true by the case of the chametz and matzah. You can assume that the matzah went into the house that was already baduk, so you don't need to check it again. And you assume the chametz went into the house that you still haven't done bedika anyway, so you're going to do bedika anyway, and there's no loss. So the Gemara responds, Eimor da'amrinan shani omer. It makes sense to say that we should be lenient, and the Gemara will continue with this discussion in the next video on Daf Yud Amud Aleph.